Hello students. Before we go to magnetism part 3, as we discussed earlier, let us learn the concept of geographic meridian and magnetic meridian. So what is geographic meridian? Let us note down the definition. At any point on the earth's surface, it's a vertical plane containing the true north-south direction at that point. This is called geographic meridian. I repeat the definition. At any point on Earth's surface, it's a vertical plane containing true north-south direction at that point. Now note down what is the meaning of magnetic meridian. So you are seeing the magnetic axis, as you know, it is tilted about 11 degree. So let us note down the definition of magnetic meridian. At any point on Earth's surface, it's a vertical plane containing the Earth's magnetic field and the magnetic axis of Earth. I repeat the definition. At any point on Earth's surface, it is a vertical plane containing Earth's magnetic field and magnetic axis of Earth. So please note down these two definitions also, which is not in textbook: magnetic meridian and geographic meridian. Okay. Now we will pass on to part 3, which is quite interesting. You have already you know about those concepts about electromagnetism and electromagnet. Right from 7th standard, 6th standard, you are learning that. So it's going to be very easy. Now I'm asking you a question. What do you mean by electromagnet? Electromagnet, that means you are making a magnetic material as a magnet passing through electricity. Therefore, it is called as electromagnet. Is it a temporary magnet or a permanent magnet? Of course, electromagnet is a temporary magnet, but it is a strong magnet because either you can increase or decrease the strength of magnetism. Therefore, it is an artificial magnet also. Okay, now how this electromagnet is made? How can you make an electromagnet? A soft iron piece is wounded with a copper coil. That means you can do it on your own. Okay, you just take a iron piece, soft iron piece, wound it with a copper coil with so many turns, and if current is allowed to flow through it, if you connect the free ends of the two ends of the copper coil to the battery, what happens? That's how you are making the current flow through it. It becomes a magnet. So I'll read the sentence. A soft iron piece is wounded with a copper coil and current flows in the coil wound around it. It becomes a magnet. Okay. Now how to construct two types of artificial magnets we are going to learn. How are you going to construct an I-shaped and U-shaped electromagnet? Okay. Now see the diagram clearly. Okay. So there is a rectangular piece. It's nothing but a soft iron. It has two ends, P and Q. And you are seeing some spiral kind of thing. That is nothing but the coil, usually made of copper. The copper coil is wound around that soft iron core. Then it is connected to a battery or a DC source. DC means direct current. So it is connected to a battery, but we have few more parameters here. There is A, which is called as, the A refers to ammeter and RH refers to rheostat, which we will be learning in detail in electricity chapter. But maybe about ammeter you may be knowing. It is a device which is used to measure the current. Okay. And there is a switching arrangement also. And of course the battery is also there, electricity source. So this is how we are making a I-shaped electromagnet. Now you see, the important point is, as soon as the current starts flowing through this soft iron piece, it is already becoming a magnet. So how to identify that it is a magnet? See the NP. See the NP. And one more thing you have to understand, that always there is an arrow mark here. The current always flows from the positive terminal towards the negative terminal. That's called as conventional current. Already I learnt. You will learn in detail also, don't worry. So the current will flow from the positive terminal. See the longer line, here I have put the symbol. The longer line refers to positive, short line refers to negative. Therefore, the current flows from positive terminal towards the negative terminal. So when the current is flowing from positive terminal towards the negative terminal, what happens to the NP? Now already PQ has become a magnet. Okay. So magnet means it should have a south pole and a north pole. Okay. Now the point P becomes south pole. Now you will have a doubt. How can you identify that point P has become a south pole? So you should understand that whenever the current flows in a clockwise direction, the clockwise direction refers to south pole and the anti-clockwise direction refers to north pole. Again, you should understand what do you mean by clockwise. Check it up. See this arrow and compare these two diagrams. Okay. So it is flowing like this. So see, is it not a clockwise? See 12, 3, 9. I have drawn a clock, simple diagram of a clock for your understanding. So it goes like that. Therefore, the end at P becomes South Pole and end at Q becomes North Pole. This is how you are making a simple I-shaped electromagnet. Now you will have a question. What is the application of this I-shaped magnet? Okay, it is mainly used in relay. What is the meaning of relay? Means it is nothing but a switching arrangement. So in the construction of switching arrangements on or any kind of relay, this I-shaped electromagnet is used. Okay, almost in all electronic devices, electromagnets are used. You know very well about the calling bell, electric bell and all. So this is one type which I have told you already. Now we are going to see about U-shaped electromagnet. See, first we constructed an I-shaped electromagnet. Now we are going to construct a U-shaped electromagnet. Now I have drawn the diagram here with a horseshoe. For constructing U-shaped electromagnet, you need a horseshoe magnet. And again, same circuit diagram you will have. You will have a battery, you will have a key, you will have a rheostat, you will have an ammeter. Okay. So here the battery is a DC motor. Battery will be a DC source. DC means direct current. Okay. Now again, I am switching on using this key. What I'm going to switch on. So what happens? Automatically, the whole arrangement, the whole horseshoe magnet becomes an electromagnet now, and current will start flowing from positive terminal towards the negative terminal. Are you able to see the symbol here? Positive terminal and negative terminal. Okay. So since it is flowing through the positive terminal, here also you are having two ends, P and Q. So P becomes South Pole and Q becomes North Pole. Okay. Now where it is used mainly, this horseshoe magnet or the U-shaped electromagnet is used in DC motors. You should be knowing about DC motors. Okay. In mixers and grinders we have motors. Okay. DC motors and AC generators. So these are the application. Now let us come. Now what should be the current source? This is a very important, interesting point which we are going to learn now. So current source usually to make an electromagnet, we will have DC. DC means direct current, maybe the battery. Okay. But it can be, the current source can also be AC, which is, you should be knowing what is the meaning of AC. AC means it is alternating current. So from where do we get alternating current? DC current, everybody know, you will get from a battery or some other source. But what about AC current? So AC current AC means alternating current, which will be getting from is transmitted from the generating stations and reaches to your house for domestic purposes and other commercial purposes. So can we use AC for creating an electromagnet? Of course you can. But what is the difference between AC and DC? In DC, directly the current flows from the battery to the soft iron core. But in AC also the same thing happens. But the polarity at the ends changes 50 times in each second. This also you'll be learning in detail in electricity chapter. Just you should understand the concept. That's all. Okay. So either you can use AC or DC, any source to make an electromagnet. Okay. Now, we are going to see what are the ways of increasing the magnetic field of an electromagnet. How can you increase the magnetic field of an electromagnet? See, I told you that it is wounded with, see I have drawn the diagram here, the soft iron core wounded with so many coils. So if you increase the number of turns, suppose the number of turns is very less here. Suppose if I am including more number of turns of the coil, what happens? Its strength can be increased. See, there is a word solenoid. I'll let you know. I'll teach you what is the meaning of solenoid. First, listen to the point. Okay. So, number of turns of winding in the solenoid. Next, increasing the current through the solenoid. So, increase the current. See, you are using a battery. First, you are using a 6-volt battery. Okay. See, in this case, here there is a battery which we are using. First, you are using a 6-volt battery or 9-volt battery, 12-volt battery. If you are keeping on increasing the strength, then what happens? The strength of the electromagnet also increases. Okay. So these 2 points are very important. What are the ways by which to increase the magnetic field of an electromagnet? Means either you increase the number of turns winding in a solenoid or increase the current through the solenoid. Okay. Now what do you mean by solenoid? Solenoid is a new term for you. Don't worry. The meaning of a solenoid is you take any rectangular piece of anything. Maybe an iron piece you can take, or even a cardboard cylinder. You take a cardboard cylinder, wound it up with copper wire, copper coil, then it becomes a solenoid. In this case, we are using a rectangular soft iron piece wounded with what is it, copper coil, therefore this is also called as a solenoid. So this is arrangement. Okay, so based on the above concepts in the textbook, you can learn the differentiation between electromagnet and permanent magnet. A full tabular column is given there, so please take the textbook and go through it, because already understood what is the meaning of permanent magnet and electromagnet. Already we have discussed in part 1 and part 2. So you should be knowing all the points, but the points have been noted down and given as a tabular column. Please read and understand. Okay, then you can even go through the advantages and uses of electromagnets also. Okay, advantages and uses of electromagnets. Now I am asking a very important question, interesting question. Which is the most commonly used application of an electromagnet? You know, it is electric bell. Okay, so in your textbook also the concept of electric bell is given, but no need to learn about working. Already you will be learning in 10th standard. You should know only the concept, certain questions in electric bell that I am going to discuss with you right now. Okay, so construction and working you need not learn. Even the diagram you need not learn. Diagram just go through, that is enough. Okay, now we are going to learn 2 points. Very important question. Now I have put the question also. Why is a soft iron used as a core of an electromagnet in an electric bell? So what is your suggestion? What is your answer? What answer you will give as far as we are learning? Okay, we are going to have a discussion. Okay, once again I'll repeat the question. Why is soft iron used as a core of the electromagnet in an electric bell? So in electric bell we are using a soft iron core. Why are we not using other substance? Let us understand. Because soft iron, you know, it becomes an electromagnet and the magnetic field strength can be changed. If you use a permanent magnet, magnetic field strength cannot be changed. Then the magnetic field is strong. Polarity can be reversed. Polarity means, you know, the ends of the pole can be reversed if you are using AC current. Okay, and can be easily demagnetized by switching off. Suppose you have used the electromagnet for a short duration of time and you want to stop it. Okay, so how will you stop? Immediately if you switch off the current, or if you switch off the circuit, what happens? Automatically the soft iron core will be demagnetized. It will be no more an electromagnet. It becomes again a soft iron piece. Therefore, these are all the points for which we will understand that a soft iron core is used as a core of the electromagnet rather than any other objects. Okay. Now, last question. How is the working of an electric bell affected if alternating current is used instead of direct current? Very important question. It is in your textbook, but the answer we can have a discussion here. Okay. So, working of electric bell is not affected. So, how it is going to affect? Will it affect the electric bell? Working of electric bell if you use AC current instead of DC current? Answer is no, it will not affect. It will have the same impact. So, what is an explanation? We will see the explanation. The working of electric bell is not affected because if AC is used, the polarity at the end of the electromagnet will change. Of course, polarity, I told you how many times it will change. It keeps on changing its direction 50 times. It's called as a frequency. Okay, 50 times it's keeping on changing its direction. But still, what happens? The core of the electromagnet does not depend on the polarity of the electromagnet. Very important point here. So, since the core of the electromagnet does not depend on the polarity of the electromagnet, the bell will still ring on pressing the switch. See, most of the houses we will have only, instead of a DC source, we will use only AC current. If current is not there, sometimes electric bell will not work. Okay, so that means what? AC current will not affect the working of an electric bell. It keeps ringing. Okay, so now we have come to a conclusion of part 3 also. Magnetism is a short chapter. We had only 3 parts. Okay, so we are coming to the assignment part, which you have to learn question number 1 to 14 in page 211 and page 212. Okay, so learn the whole concepts thoroughly, children. I have covered all the topics, whatever is needed and whatever is important for you, and even the questions I have discussed, important, difficult questions I have discussed with you. I hope you will learn the chapter in a very successful manner. I hope all of you would have learned sound chapter also. Your assessment is waiting. Next video will be assessment for 20 marks. I will be dictating the questions and giving you the assessment. You have to write on your own. You have to make some time and do it. Okay. Thank you, children.